What's going on? What's going on, Atlanta Falcon fans? This your boy Antoine Smith, man. Do a quick little pop up, man. Something I noticed last night. I had a conversation with my boy A1 and member of the family, Miss Carrie. We talked a little bit after the show, and I told him I was going to speak on this. And I actually said it before the end of last night's live. But yeah, man, y'all come on in right quick. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. If y'all see the topic, y'all see the thumbnail. Yeah, it got kind of ugly quick for the Atlanta Falcons. But man, y'all come on in right quick, man, quick. Right before noon, man, in the morning time. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Hamster, what's going on, man? Yeah, it could be Kirk time. And I thought this was going away, man, but it don't look like it's going away no time soon. So let's talk about it right quick, man, right quick. Um it's crazy because I said it during the game last night. If y'all were living under a rock, man, Michael Penix went down with a leg injury, man, last night. He did get checked out by paramedics. I'm sorry, not paramedics, doctors in the tent. He told Raheem Morris he was able to go back in, and he finished the game, man. He did not look pretty good the second half of the game. Brewski, what's up, my guy? Tim, what's up, man? Happy birthday, my brother. Happy birthday, man. My daughter's birthday was actually yesterday. So happy birthday to my daughter, man. Happy birthday. Happy belated. Didn't get the shout out last night because I was too pissed about that game. Sidro, lower leg injury. Yeah, y'all come on in, man. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Man, y'all say happy birthday to Tim in the chat, man. Say happy birthday. Marcus, what's up, my guy? Until you fight it, coaching will be what it is. Absolutely. Let's get to that point, Marcus, man. Let's get to that point. Uncle Lou, what's up, my guy? What's up, Uncle Lou? Hey, man, they should have gave nephew the ball a little bit more last night, man. Should have gave Tyler the ball a little bit more last night. Yeah, Lowe was at the game last night, Uncle Lou. Yeah, he was there. He reported live from the game. Yeah, man. Good morning, man. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, man. Y'all see the topic, man. Y'all see the thumbnail. Y'all see the background. Yeah, Michael Penix could be injured. But let's talk about it right quick, man. Let's talk about it right quick. Hey, that's dope, Uncle Lou, man. That's dope. That's dope, man. Glad you got to meet Low, man. Low is a cool dude, man. He's very down to earth, man. He'll give you the shirt off his back, man. He will. But yeah, man. Michael Penix, man. If y'all watched it, and I talked a little bit in depth about this in the show last night on the post game. Um, Michael Penix looks a little bit shook, man, and I think it has to do with the offensive coordinator. As I've been telling y'all, man, I just don't think he's focused on what's going on with the Falcons because he's too erratic at this point. And I feel like he needs to worry about what's at hand. If you're gonna take the job at Oklahoma State, go on and do that. But worry about the job at hand because if you don't do what's at hand, you might not never get another chance in the NFL, and that's just the God honest truth. Um, yeah, Tanya, he did hurt himself moving, but he had to get out the way, man. But again, man, I saw this coming a mile away, and I've been telling y'all, man, for I know about 2-3 weeks. And there's no shot at Michael Penix, and I want him to take his lumps because that's the only way you're going to learn. But it seems to me like Zach Robinson is not developing him, and Zach Robinson is not developing himself. It seems like once he gets some things figured out, he takes 2 steps back the next game. And the reason why he does that, I don't think he takes enough time in the film room with Michael Penix and with himself to go over what he needs to go over to fix what he needs to fix. And I just feel like, it's getting to be a problem at this point. And when it's a problem that keeps going back and forth, that's a head coaching problem. Because Raheem Morris is supposed to, at all times, make sure everything's clicking on the right cylinders. And he's sitting there watching the game as the game goes on. If you see your young offensive coordinator make a mistake, you got to step in. You got to fix it. got to talk to him, tell him to get it together. Because at times last night, the offense just looked so out of rhythm, out of sync, and they just had no cohesiveness. And Michael Penix, by the midway through the third quarter, he was so rattled. And the crazy thing about it, it just certain things that they should know at this point that they got to take advantage of. Their number one player is on IR with an ankle injury, had surgery. You saw him there in the booth. You saw him in the booth with his leg kicked up in the chair, had his leg raised up. That's their best player. And I'm gonna tell y'all, if this does not get better, if the next three games I think are the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Colts. And if you look at the Dolphins, that's a 1-6 team, but sometimes those kind of games are trap games and they take us for a loop and we get caught up. And it could be a loss. It could be a game just like last year. The Saints came in 7 straight losses, 2-7, and we lost that game and they threw our season in a tailspin. And now we end up in the same spot a year later against a 1-6 team, two attack of a lower team that pretty much blowing up. The head coach is on the way out the door. And how can you end up in the same spot 2 years in a row? So, as I see it, as I said earlier, I want to see Michael Penix grow. Grow in this system. I want to see him take his lump so he can go on and get it out the way, which I feel like he should have did last year. But at the same time, Michael Penix is not developing like he's supposed to, and that's got to do with coaching. So we're back at square one again. We might be looking at Kirk Cousins mainly because Michael Penix could be injured, but we don't know yet. And I'm gonna give it to y'all heavy on Falcons. Put out an article, and I'm gonna show it to y'all right quick. Um, that he could have a lower leg injury, and it says after the game, Raheem Morris told reporters he wasn't yet sure how serious the injury might be, and he did limp off the field, and he went in the medical tent, but he told him he was able to go back in. And Raheem Morris said, obviously, we've got to let him go get evaluated. And he gave the thumbs up on the sideline. He was asking him so he could finish. We'll see where he is tomorrow. So sometime today, we will see what's going on with Michael Penix in that leg. It's needless to say the Falcons still can't escape the conversation about whether Kirk Cousins might eventually reclaim the starting job for Penix. And it's kind of telling because as we've been saying with this, this for the longest, man. If Michael Penix took his lumps and we wouldn't see Kirk anymore. Well, hell, here we are, week 7, and I'm sorry, going into week 8, I think. Yeah, week 8. We're going to week 8, and here we are again talking about Kirk Cousins and him possibly claiming the throne again. And the reason why I don't have a problem with it at this point is because Zach Robinson is consistent with play calling. And actually, Kirk Cousins is going to be our lifeline. And a lot of y'all said we need to keep Kirk Cousins to have some insurance. But God damn it, y'all are right. Because this is the insurance policy and it's the $27 million that we paying him. And it's going to have to pay off sooner or later. And this right here is the point where it could pay off. So you saw last year, before that shoulder injury, Kirk Cousins was pushing the ball down the field. And it's something that Zach Robinson is scared to do because he don't trust his quarterback. One, because he's not coaching him to make those type throws. He's not working with him in practice to attack the middle of the field. He's only going outside the numbers and slightly inside the seams. He's not going directly in the middle of the field. Had they been directly in the middle of the field last night, they probably could have put up 30, 40 points. And they limited themselves from scoring points because they were scared to try something different. And when you're scared to try something different, guess what? It's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. So I'm telling y'all, one way or another, to save this season, the Falcons are going to have to probably put Kirk Cousins in because Kirk Cousins is a quarterback. One, he can read the field a little bit better than Michael Penix. Two, he can go through progression better than Michael Penix. Three, he can audible better than Michael Penix. And fourth of all, he can guide Zach Robinson better than Michael Penix can. Why? Because Michael Penix hasn't got to that point in his career where he can tell Zach Robinson exactly what he sees on the field 100% of the time. He can do it some of the time, but as a 12-year veteran, 13-year veteran, Kirk Cousins, he can do it every single down. Why? Because he has those NFL quarterback eyes that's been around for a long time that can read coverages and read Mike linebackers and read what he needs to read in order to make this offense successful. And if they don't do this right now, at some point, it's going to come back to hunt them. Just like last year when we talked about putting Penix in at a certain point because they didn't have no film on him, but now they have film on him. They're starting to figure him out. And now you have to turn the cheek the other way, let Kirk come in and try to save this situation. Because Kyle Pitts had 7 catches, 62 yards last night. And no way in hell he shouldn't have had well over 100 yards with the middle linebacker, with a rookie at middle linebacker. And I think San Francisco had every bit of 10, 15 people on IR right now. They beat the Atlanta Falcons with rookies on defense, but they were coached so well by Robert Saleh. He had a great game plan, and it just worked to perfection. And he knows how to game plan for a young quarterback, and that's what Robert Saleh did. He did his job. Instead of Zach Robinson trying to counter what he was doing, he was still trying to run what he game planned for the game. And we talk about adjustments. He did not make the proper adjustments during the game, and they paid for it. Bijan had, I think, 87 yards from scrimmage. Not a Bijan-like game. But when they start to focus in, they start to read what you're doing, and you become predictable. These are the type of things that are going to happen. Just that simple. And again, another game. Every game this year, no quarterback has thrown for over 200 yards. Why? Because they find a way to run the football and balance it out to where they don't have to throw for a lot of yards. It's just that simple, man. But Corner Boy TV, appreciate the donation, my guy. He said, season over, I don't trust Kirk Cousins. But I get that, Corner Boy. But at some point, you're going to have to trust somebody. Because if you trust this team to win, since Michael Penix is not there, since he's not there professional wise, well, not professional wise, transitional wise, and what I mean by that, he hasn't got to the point where he can see some of the things that Kirk Cousins sees. And if you're talking about a veteran quarterback, you got to trust Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins is going to make you trust Zach Robinson again. Why? Because he's going to be Zach Robinson's coach on the field to help him see things. And I'm going to tell y'all, and I said this a while back, for some reason, I just feel like Kirk Cousins is not helping Michael Penix either. Not only Zach Robinson, but Kirk Cousins is not helping not helping Michael Penix either. And that's a problem. Because if that's your teammate, yeah, he took your job, but you can't take it out on him. It's the nature of the beast. But now, since he's going down with a possible leg injury or lower body injury, you might find a way to get your job back. And then it's going to be another situation as the immediate firestorm as to, what we're going to do now. Is Kirk Cousins going to be here past 2025? No, he's not. I don't care what happens. And even this season, if Michael Penix get back healthy, they're going to put Michael Penix back in the game, which they should. But while he's sitting out, Zach Robinson, Kirk Cousins, and Michael Penix need to sit down, get in the film room. They need to figure some things out and help this young man grow. Because I'm telling y'all, if there was another veteran quarterback on this team, I think Michael Penix would be a little bit further ahead. And I go that far just to say Jameis Winston. Yeah, he a clown. He entertaining, but I guarantee you he would, be in the film room and on the practice field giving Michael Penix every tip that he can give him. I guarantee you that's not Kirk Cousins. That's not his motive. And I can understand why, because he took your job. But he's the family. He's the future. Ghost Pepper, what's up, my guy? So, I mean, look, it's not a Michael Penix issue. Absolutely. It's a damn coaching issue. And it goes to Zach Robinson. It goes all the way up the board to Raheem Morris. And I just keep saying that. Because at the end of the day, the quarterback going to take the heat and the head coach going to take the heat. And the reason why he's playing nervous, he don't trust Zach Robinson. And you wouldn't either. Because Michael Penix knows he should be further ahead than where he is. He knows that. But he can only go as far as he's being coached. This is why Raheem Morris should have brought his damn friends. Because if they make a mistake, guess what? The team gonna pay for it. Not only the player, but the team gonna pay for it. Because how the hell you go to being the best team, possibly the best team in football in Buffalo, when they're healthy, to going out next week and pretty much shitting the bed in San Francisco? That just doesn't make sense. So now this injury with Michael Penix, it could be a blessing in disguise. Why? It could give him time to get himself together and, try to pull himself together, do a little bit more study in the film room, do a little bit more study on the practice field, get a little bit more chemistry down with these receivers and tight ends, and possibly turn the corner. It's going to have to be something drastic for him to turn the corner because why? He don't trust Zach Robinson. He has mobility, Sylvester. He just, I think, in the back of his mind, even though he's gotten over those ACL injuries, in the back of his mind, he knows he's one cut away from possibly tearing another one of those ACLs, and that could be the end of the line. That has to be in the back of his mind. He has mobility. He just chooses not to run. He has 4.4 speed. He can run. I just think he just think about injuries at the end of the day. And he has confidence in those knees because if you look at the way he turns his hips and step into his throws, I mean, he has confidence. It's just in the back of his mind somewhere. I can't run because I know what that could bring because of what it did to me the first couple of times. It's just normal. Morning, Dre. How you doing, my brother? Hannibal said, how can you put up 30, 40 points in a running back centric team? And that's true to a certain extent. But you got to think too, that's a Zach Robinson problem as well, because even though you're building a team around Bijan, you got to start scheming for Kyle Pitts. You got to start scheming for Drake London. Yeah, you got to start scheming for Darnell Mooney because they took a couple shots with Darnell Mooney and he was taking the top off the defense, even though it wasn't deep down the field. It was 20, 30 yards down the field, and he caught 2 passes, 20 yards or more. They hadn't done that all season. I think they only did that like 4 or 5 times before that game. So to do it 2 times in one game, that lets you know it's a scheming and a coaching problem. So all they have to do is put 2 and 2 together, and they just can't seem to do that. And that goes back to Raheem Morris. And the crazy part about it, Raheem Morris has coached both sides of the football. He's coached defensive backs. He's coached wide receivers. I mean, so why are the receivers and the defensive backs looking so bad? Because you're not going in there coaching and putting your footprint on this team. And that's a problem. As a coach, the team is a reflection of the coach. So if the coach is inconsistent, the team is damn inconsistent. It's just that point blank period. That's just the problem. But hey, what do I know? Absolutely, he beat us himself. And why? Because as I've been telling y'all for the last God knows how long, we need a space eater. And Sam Roberts came over as a free agent and came in and played well and disappeared the second half because they decided not to put him on the field anymore. As soon as they stopped putting Sam Roberts in the game, they started running right back up the middle. So, hey, look. Woo, boy. Coach Pepper said great offensive coordinators don't need to rely on one player, but rather adapt their offensive strategy to maximize the talents of all the players on the roster, which clearly Zach Robinson doesn't do. And Coach Pepper, you are 200% correct. And this is why they can't never take control of the game. This is why they stay at one level. Think about it. The last 6 quarters, the first 2 quarters of the Buffalo game, 21 points. and they were showing being creative. They were moving the ball up and down the field, and they were spreading the ball around. Last 6 quarters, 3 points against Buffalo, 10 points this game, 13 points. So the first half of Buffalo, they scored more points the first half against Buffalo than they scored the last 6 quarters, the second half of Buffalo game, and the entire San Francisco game. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. That's a coaching problem. Because if you could do that against a Buffalo team which has the best front seven in the NFL, and yes, I said it, in the NFL, and you put up 21 points on them in the first quarter, MVP quarterback, and you shit the bed the very next 2 quarters in the next game, and you look that bad. Yeah, Divine Diablo will be out for a while, man. I think he fractured his forearm, if I'm not mistaken, because he came in out with a sling last night, and that's never a good sign. And forearms, I've broken my foot before, and it took me 2.5, 3 months for my foot to get well. So imagine your forearm, which you use just as much as your foot because you're constantly picking up. Yeah, you can turn down donut with your forearm, and it can hurt. So it's going to take a while. But if he wanted to, he can play with a cast, but why risk that? So what they're going to have to do, they're going to have to reevaluate the roster and see what kind of moves they need to make. Because the deadline is approaching. And I'm telling y'all, and I told y'all, if you're not going to use Algier, try to get something for him. Because Algier should have played more than he did last night. Why is it so hard for them to see that? You beat Buffalo, you beat Minnesota. You ran the ball down both of their throats. San Francisco was beat up, so why not do the same thing? Ooh, boy, it's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. That's a great point, RB. It's it's hard to trust the team if you can't trust the coach, and that's absolutely true. I have no rebuttal for that. Not a one. And I don't trust Zach Robinson. I told y'all. I probably never will at this point. I don't care how good they look, because I know at some point he's gonna take a step back. He's not consistent. And as I told y'all, when you have your mind in 2, 3, 4 different places, how can you focus on one particular thing? It's just hard to do. Hannibal said, Penix ain't there. It ain't the offense. It's Bijan's offense. That's what y'all wanted. That's what you got. You lose like that. And look, it's not what we wanted. It's what I wanted. I wanted a balanced offense. And I'm still waiting on Kyle Pitts to break out. He's had 2 to 3 different games that he could have broke out. Buffalo had injured at linebacker. He could have broke out that game. And they had guys in their secondary injured. Last night, San Francisco, Fred Warner was injured. They're young. Their cornerbacks were young. And you didn't take advantage of either game. Back-to-back games, you didn't take advantage. So it's not Bijan's offense. It's the way the coordinators scheming for these teams to go through Bijan. And I get it. He's a superior talent. But you got to find a way to help him as well. If you find a way to get Kyle Pitts and Drake London involved like you're supposed to, just like the Buffalo game, you see what Bijan can do. When you got Pitts and London involved, you see what Bijan can do. 238 yards. And then the very next week, no Drake London, no Kyle Pitts, but he only had 62 yards. You throwing damn screens to a tight end. Make that shit make sense. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Ooh, boy. Hamster, how can you trust yourself to do your job when it's not being taught to you properly? That's just like you been on a 9 to 5 job. You go through 90-day training and they show you the ropes of how to do this and how to do that. And you still struggling after them 90 days up. And they looking at you after them 90 days up like I thought he learned these through his probationary period. And he don't seem to be catching on to it. Why? Because he probably wasn't taught properly. And if he's not taught properly, if you keep going that way, I say another 90 days. After 6 months, you probably out of there. I said he was nervous. I said he was rattled, and that's any quarterback in the NFL. If you hit them enough in them first 2 quarters, by the time you get to the third and fourth quarter, they're gonna be throwing erratic. I don't care who they are. It's a proven fact. Just go back and look at over time. If a quarterback get hit enough, he's gonna be running left and right trying to get out the way, and then he's gonna try to rush throws. That's how turnovers happen. That's how sacks happen because they don't know which way to turn. So look, I mean, it's a proven fact. If they get routed enough in them first 2 quarters, by the second half, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be erratic throwing. It's gonna be sacks. It's gonna be turnovers. It's a proven fact. Just go back and check. You won't do what with Raheem? I mean, Raheem didn't show me nothing. He was an intern coach. He didn't show me nothing that he could be a head coach. You remember, he's one of the youngest head coaches ever at 32 years old with Tampa Bay. He did all right for the first 2, 3 years. Well, the first year and a half, because no, the first 3 years, the first 2 years, first year losing record, second year playoffs, third year back down again. It's just a pattern of inconsistency, and it's still showing. So, what made them think that changed in what 12 years, 13 years? It ain't changed. So he may be a better coordinator than a head coach. And some coaches just like that. It's a proven fact again. True measure of a great offensive coordinator talent is the ability to sustain success even when they don't have a superstar to lean on. That's absolutely true because Josh McDaniel did it forever in New England. Tom Brady only had Randy Moss his entire career, but he made Junior Edelman great. He made Rob Gronkowski great. He made Wes Welker great. Troy Brown. I can keep going and going. Tom Brady didn't have a true superstar receiver, but Randy Moss. Think about that. And later on in his career, and I said it last night, he showed how great he was as a quarterback, taking the system that he had in New England down to Tampa Bay, taught them offensive coordinator how to run it and how to run it correctly, and it led them to a Super Bowl. So your quarterback can make anything great if he's coached properly. And once Tom Brady got to a certain point in his career, he was the damn coach him damn self on the field. And that's a proven fact. Y'all see what's going on Bill Belichick right now. He had North Carolina struggling real bad. Because at some point, Brady took over the team with his ability to coach him damn self and to lead this team. And it showed against us in the Super Bowl. He threw for a damn Super Bowl record against the Falcons. Damn near 600 yards. Think about that. He damn near broke the single game passing record in the Super Bowl. That had nothing to do with Belichick. That was all Tom Brady. I mean, we got a while before we say he's not a franchise quarterback. We got a long way. Tell you why? They said the same thing about Baker Mayfield. He's the MVP right now in the NFL, if you ask me. They said the same thing about Sam Darnold. He went to Minnesota last year, damn near won the MVP, and still lined it up in Seattle. It's all about coaching at the end of the day. It's all about coaching. If Kyle Pitts go to a team that knows how to unlock his skill set, Kyle Pitts will rewrite the record books of tight ends. But we never know how to utilize him. And that's a proven fact. Nobody has. You give Kyle Shanahan or Kyle Pitts along with a George Kittle, who George Kittle has helped training Kyle Pitts and teaching him the ropes. I guarantee you Kyle Pitts will get unlocked in San Francisco. It's all about coaching. Yeah, trade deadline November the 4th at 4 o'clock. And that's the crazy thing. Kirk Cousins had Darnell Mooney at 1,000 yards last year. 1,000 yards. But that's a coaching problem because why? Kirk Cousins was helping Zach Robinson last year grow and do what he needed to do. So he made Zach Robinson's job a lot easier. So now that Zach Robinson got to work and work hard, it shows you who's the problem. It ain't all Michael Penix's fault. It's that offensive damn coordinator. Man, Nate Lamon is going off. Why? Because they know how to use Nate Lamon. They don't drop him back in coverage. He a run stopper. 17 tackles in one game. He did his damn job like he was supposed to, and he's coached to do that. But they had Nate Lamon dropping back in coverage, and we know he's not that dude. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. I think Isaiah Simmons done, man. He done been to 6 teams already, and he can't stick nowhere. So, I mean, it's the same for coaching with him, but no. I don't think he's that guy. Yeah, I think Diablo going to be out for a while, Corner Boy TV. Hate to say it, but I think he's going to be out for a while. Yeah, space eaters. I mean, we've been needing a space eater. We've been talking about this 4-5 years, even when Arthur Smith was here. That's why Grady Jarrett got worn down. He's not a space eater. He's a run stopper. He needs somebody next to him to unlock his talent. And we just couldn't do it. Appreciate it, Spider-Man. Appreciate it, my guy. Who's your fantasy offensive coordinator combo that you wish we had? Who's available after this season? Tanya, I'm gonna just say it, man. I still think Mike McDaniel, because they 1-6. They blowing up the team, and they're probably gonna go look for another head coach. And Mike McDaniel, he worked here before. So if I'm gonna put Trey, he runs the same exact system. Look at what he's doing with Tua. They just can't stop nobody because they traded their entire defense. Xavier Howard retired. Jalen Ramsey got traded. Wilkins got cut. Miami just don't have nobody. And it's showing. They got blew out yesterday by the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns beat them 31-6, I think. 31-6 or 31-13, somewhere like that. But Mike McDaniel is struggling because he really don't have nothing. They're trying to blow that team up. Now they're talking about Jalen Waddle on the train block. Tyreek Hill out for the year. So they really don't have no weapons. And they just paid Tua a lot of money. So, I mean, it just, that team is shot to shit. But if I had my choice, Mike McDaniel or somebody else that could run the same type of offense. Mike McDaniel is the only person I can think about right now. But I'm sure there's others out there that can run the same offense because that was a big tree. And watching it, they had Arthur Smith, they had Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Cliff Kingsbury, who's there now. They had a coaching staff out there, you know what, in Washington 10 years ago. And 5 of them are head coaches right now. So, yeah, I think right now it's Mike McDaniel, but I'm sure as the year go on, we'll see more. What was the Baltimore offensive coordinator? I could see him. I could see him here because he knows how to run the football. He knows how to scheme a run, and once he schemes a run, he knows how to use play action. You see it with Lamar Jackson. So look, we just got to do better. As I keep saying, as a team, as a front office, as ownership, we got to learn to be uncomfortable in order to change what we got going on here. When they learn to become uncomfortable and bring in somebody that they've never seen before, that they got to have blind trust in, and they are successful, that's the only way the Falcons' luck is going to change. I'm telling y'all, when they learn to be uncomfortable, you just gotta do it, man. You just gotta do it. Vince Ninja say, watching the game last night and talking to coworkers today, we have all come to the same conclusion. This loss is on the coaches, and someone has to go. To prove that point, I think Robinson has to go. But how many scapegoats are you going to have until Raheem Morris becomes the problem? It starts at the top. Raheem Morris is the problem, and he was the problem when he got hired. You shouldn't have hired two inexperienced coaches to coach offense and defense, thinking that you're going to start some kind of coaching tree like Chris said. Bring in somebody experienced that's going to challenge you and tell you when you're wrong. If you don't have nobody to challenge you, how in the hell are you going to better yourself? How? It should just frustrate talking about it, man. Because I mean, it's some shit just common sense. Some shit is just common sense. Hold on, bro. Did Tom Brady go to the Super Bowl that he lost? Or did Bill Belichick coach those? Yeah, he coached them. But I'm saying, at a certain point, it became more about Tom Brady than Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, after he got a certain age, and we saw the drop off the last 5-6 years in the pros, outside of that Super Bowl we lost, and it's still going on in college. And Tom Brady went to another team and won the Super Bowl, and Bill was nowhere around. Nowhere. Z-Rob, all them targets just barely use him when we can. Woo, boy. And Avenging, you absolutely correct. It's the system, but the system ties back to coaching. They found the exact right system to put Baker in, and actually, it's pretty much the same thing he had in Cleveland his rookie year when he set the touchdown record. They just didn't know how to keep it going. They just didn't know how to keep it going. Inconsistent. And yeah, we stuck with them, man. I'm telling you, Craig, we stuck with them this year. And I hate to say it, because if you hire Raheem, who's gonna take over? You see what Jeff Ulbrich did with the Jets last year. TJ Yates can't coach. Dwayne Leffler can't coach. The offensive line can't coach. Line coach can't coach. Who are you going to bring? Zach Robinson, like I said, TJ Yates can't call plays. Jerry Gray could do it, but he probably don't want to do it. He's almost, 65, 70 years old? Jerry Gray don't want to do that. Well, we just stuck. Yeah, Baker do got great weapons. But he also got great coaches. We got great weapons too, and look what's going on with us. Great coaching make players great because they teach them when to do and play to their strengths. Absolutely 200% correct. 200% correct. A good coach can make anybody good. What about the Jets coach? Who is the Jets coach? Oh, Aaron Glenn. Oh, he set himself up for that. The Jets didn't have nobody to begin with. They brought in Justin Fields, and he's another player. Hasn't got around the right offensive coordinator to unlock his skill set. That's why he's looking like a bust. Not too many people can coach a Justin Fields type player. Not many. He'll never get it. Yeah, they owe him an apology, but he'll never get it. He built that Miami team. In the very next season after they fired him, no shot shit. He built that team. He coached that team. But he'll never get another chance because of what he did with that lawsuit. He's going to be a coordinator, and that's it. Now, I know he'll be a great coach because I see what he did in Miami. The first year in Miami, he had a losing record. Then, the year that he had the winning record, they had a 10-win. They won 10 more games than the season before. How many times you do see coaches do that? But he'll never get an apology because, they don't want to hear the truth. And Miami's owner, he ain't you know what. He ain't you know what. Do y'all think you have to win? If we lose 5 games, I think that's it. I said it last night. If we get to 5 losses, it's going to be hard to make the playoffs. Why? Because you look at the NFC East. Eagles, the Cowboys on the road. Yeah, I said even though they don't have a defense, the Cowboys on the road. Washington, they they took a step back, but they still have a playoff caliber team. You look at the NFC North. The Bears done won 3 straight. The Packers still winning. The Lions probably the best team in the NFC. You go out to the West. San Francisco 5-2. Seattle winning record. Arizona, if they can get it together, they got a decent team. And we still got to go play all those teams in the West. The Rams. Matt Stafford threw 5 touchdowns yesterday. 5 wins, 5 losses. It's gonna be the ceiling. So if you lose 5 games, you're gonna have to struggle and win the division to get into the playoffs. And if Tampa Bay win 2 to 3 more games without losing, they done wrapped up the division. Why? Because we lost games we shouldn't have lost. Dave, I'm telling you, we can't get rid of them. Cause who gonna come in and who gonna turn it around? Can't nobody turn it around quick. Why? They got to get used to the player. They got to draw up a new offense, figure things out, figure out where people go, figure out the strengths, figure out the weakness, and all that. How you gonna do that in a matter of half a season? You can't do it. So we just stuck. Our strategy is lacking in. Oh yeah, I've been saying that. Situation play call has been bad since Arthur Smith. It's been bad since Arthur Smith. Situation play call is key to any team. Look at Patrick Mahomes. He's getting his weapons back, and his situation play calling is getting better as the game goes on. They started off 0-2, and now they 3-3, 4-3, something like that. Kansas City, once they hit that stride, it's over with. We could be talking about them going right back to San Francisco to the Super Bowl. But that's what's happened when you adjust as you go. Raheem Morris and these coaches are bad at adjustments. I can't say that about Albrecht because the defense is playing their ass off game in and game out. And we still top 5 in defense. In offense, we still the bottom 5. I think we 27th in the NFL in offense and points per game. Points per game, I think we only scoring like 17 points a game, 18, something like that. And that's bad. That's bad. With a team like this, 17 points, it should be a felony. I mean, ain't no point in talking about a new head coach. It's just a long climb. It's just a long climb. Just a long climb. Answer coaching is different on the Falcons, not the talent. Young players have bad coaching, point blank, period. Lower leg injury, lower body injury somewhere in there. But he went in the tent, came back out, said he was okay. He finished the game, and we'll know something sometime today. And I will definitely keep y'all posted on that. But it just started at the top, man. It started at the top. It started at the top. And you got to blame Arthur Blank at some point because he's comfortable with hiring the same people over and over. And I'm a Falcon fan. I'm an OG fan. Even when I was young in the 80s, I remember they hired Marion Campbell twice. And each time, most game he won was probably, I would say, 7 or 8. He never won 10 games, I don't think. And the Falcons were bad in the 80s. Bad. This ain't nothing compared to the 80s. I guess this is why I'm so content with it because this is why I'm so patient with it because I've seen bad. If he can go Sunday, Michael Penix will be out there. If he can go Sunday, he'll be out there. I don't think Mike McCarthy will take a offensive coordinator position. I just think he's head coach material. That's it. But if you bring him as a head coach, he won't change nothing. Moody said we want Rod gone because he's not a good coach. He's a better offensive coordinator, but head coach, I don't think. I don't think he'll lead a man. Hate to say it, and send it from one black man to another. I just don't think so. Yeah, you're right, Moody. He won't fire him. He won't. Okay, Moody. So you're an OG fan like me, true enough. So you know what I'm talking about. In the '80s, mid '80s, late '80s, before Dion got here, the Falcons were terrible. They were terrible. 3 wins here, 4 wins there, 2 wins here. And y'all think 7-10 bad? Try winning three to 4 games every year. Having probably one good game a year where they just blow somebody out. Because they don't trust the kicker. That's why they don't kick field goals. And in the way the NFL is played today, man, the way it's played today, um, it really don't matter if you go for it on fourth down. Because if you miss the field goal, the ball going to end up where you place the kick. So like if you kick it, if it's placed on the 40, you kick it from the 45, 46. Instead of kicking it, getting it at the 40, you're going to get it where the ball was kicked at. So it really don't matter if you go for it on third and fourth down and not kick the field goal. Because if you miss it, they're going to get the ball right there anyway. So why not go for it? That's just the way the NFL is these days. Lamar Jones said we need to stop calling these elementary plays. Penix looked bad because play calling. San Francisco basically beat us in our own game, and I said that last night. And the wide receiver would help, but the play calling trash. And you 200% correct. Elementary play calling, vanilla play calling. It's just going to be that because Zach Robinson hasn't elevated his game to the point where he's creative enough to make the right calls, to have this offense gelling and gelling like it's supposed to, putting up points, because he hasn't elevated his game like that. And at this point, I don't know if he will. So if he goes to Oklahoma State, that's probably the best place for him, because he's not going to have to be that creative in college, because guess what? You can run a damn near high school offense and put up points in college. You can't do that in the NFL. So, I mean, maybe that's probably the best fit for him. And hell, maybe he might go to college, learn something, and then come back to the NFL and show somebody something. Yeah, Dre, Dallas kick a button and kick the ball from the parking lot and it hit. Yep, back when our offense outscored our defense outscored the offense. Absolutely. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about, Damon. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So y'all ain't seen nothing. This just child's play. What does the media question him like they were our players? They just do. They looking for a story, man. Every question that the media asks, if they get the right answer, they can turn it into an article. It's just that simple. They do it to have something to talk about, have something to write about. And sometimes we just fall into the trap. But the crazy thing about it, some of these players they can recognize, and they'll give them a dumb answer just so they won't have a story to write about, to keep the PR nightmare down. And that's a good thing. Hey, E. Roberts, I've been wondering that for a while. Rodrigo Blankenship, the former Georgia kicker, been sending out tapes. He has a strong leg. He's accurate. And his first couple years in Indianapolis, he was probably one of the better young kickers in the league. He's even been in the XFL. And I don't understand why he don't get another chance. So, I mean, we'll just see how it goes. What's up, nephew? Tell mama I'm praying for him. I'm thinking about it, man. Tell mama I'm thinking about it. I think it one and done, nephew. Aaron Glenn, he going after one season. I think they'll win. They'll only win like 3 or 4 games, and it'll be another coach there next year. See, one thing y'all got to learn: when African American quarterbacks get into a bad spot, they don't get 2 and 3 years to make it right. They want them to turn around right then and there, and it's impossible. One, they just don't have a quarterback. Two, the front office is in disarray, and that sound familiar. Three, it's a big media market. When you're in a big media market like New York, you don't have time to turn it around to try to turn it around in 2 3 years. It better happen right then and there. And they better see that it's gonna happen, or it better be some resemblance of it turning around. Because if it's not, you gone after one season. That's why I don't understand why these minority head coaches take these jobs where they know that it's not suitable to win right away, because you're not gonna get a leash like other people. Let's keep it real. So, I mean, that's the easy answer. Uh, Lenny Craig, Raheem said he's a project and he's still coming along, so he still has a ways to go. But unfortunately, I don't think Raheem will be in place to see him kick on a full-time basis because he'll be gone. I'm gonna just keep it real with you, Dre. I just don't think. Mafia, I think MP9 progression is behind because his offensive coordinator is not evolving, so he's not evolving. And I know he got to be the one out there throwing the football, but some of the things he sees on the field is something that Zach Robinson not teaching him in the film room. If he teaches in the film room, he'll be able to read coverages better. He'll be able to go to progression better, and he'll be a little bit further along. Just keeping it funky with you. B. John said we overlooked the Niners. How you're on prime time, that's a coaching lack of prep issue. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Yeah, no quarterback. Yeah, he done if he don't get the right coordinator up under him, he'll be a career backup. Because after this, I think he won't be nothing but a backup. He'll be just like Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston was I think he was the number one pick. And since he left Tampa, he's been nothing but a backup. And I think that's going to be Justin Fields the rest of the way. Brown, that's a good question, but that's an easy question. It's all about preparation. BJ don't have to be on the field to get a yard or two. Tyler Algier can get a yard or two. If you do a 3 to 5 step drop, get it out quick, Kyle Pitts gonna be standing there. I mean, there's plenty of ways to get a yard. BJ don't have to be on the field. It's about preparation. You got to think outside the box sometimes. You got to think outside the box to where they don't know where you coming from when it's on offense. If you keep bringing predictable things gonna keep happening, and they gonna keep figuring it out. Nah, he's not getting fired. Hate to say it, but he's not getting fired. They didn't prep for it, Nate. They were looking at Christian McCaffrey numbers before he got in the game. He was averaging 82 yards a game total, and he got double that plus more against us because they didn't prepare for him. Constantly. That's the only thing we're constant at. Not constant at making first downs, not constant as putting up points, but constantly being inconsistent. That's a bad thing. Happy birthday to Tim. Tim had a birthday today. So y'all please wish Tim a birthday, man. Moody said facts. Levis Smith was fired after having a 10-6 season. Blank is not good at picking hard-nosed coaches. Point blank, period. And y'all remember, Levis Smith is one of the best coaches in Bears history. Stayed there a long time. But then as soon as somebody else became available that they had their eye on, what do? They fire. And I'm going to ask y'all another question. Before Caleb Williams came along, before Justin Fields came along, when did the Chicago Bears have a minority quarterback? I wait, other than Cordell Stewart. I'll wait. But see, so that's the way some of these organizations ran. Y'all got to keep your eyes open, man. Some organizations just don't fool with us, period. Unless we playing defense. Unless we playing skill positions. But outside of that, nope. Don't happen. They just coaching. That's how they blew the game. Coaching. Coaching did not adjust as the game went on. How you up 19 and nothing going in the fourth quarter, you lose, giving up 33 points in one quarter. Just doesn't make sense. He should have got fired today. Brian Daboll should have got fired at 7 o'clock this morning. Yeah, they should have left him in Denver. What do you think about Josh Blank take full control after this season? Will Josh Blank clean house? That's hard to say because even though he take over day-to-day operations, he's still going to take advice from his dad. Point blank period. He's still going to take advice from his dad. No way around it. So no matter if he do take over, Arthur Blank still going to call some of the shots. And you got to remember Rich McKay is still here. As long as Rich McKay here, still ain't going to change. Still not going to change. What's up, Miss Carey? Hey, Miss Carey, didn't I tell you I was going to jump on live today? I told you I had to talk about it. Because I'm telling you, if Kirk Cousins start again, it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be a media circus. Because just like it was this offseason, we're going to have to deal with that the whole season. That's going to become a distraction. So since it's about to fire up again, and Kirk possibly could be playing Sunday, depending on what Michael Penix test results come back. Oh, yeah. It's going to get ugly. But I just had to come in and share that with y'all right quick. I talked about it a little bit last night, but Art, where you been, man? Where you been? Honestly, I can't say it's over because I can't say it's over because what if Kirk had that spark that we need to get these receivers involved? His him being a veteran quarterback, knowing how to read the field better, go through progressions, find these receivers. What if he can re-spark this season? And if we make the playoffs with Kirk, then guess what's going to happen after that? Then we're going to have another problem is we have drafted Michael Penix at number 8. It's going to be another problem. So, look, I'm telling y'all, it's going to get ugly soon. I just see it. It's going to get ugly. Sly, he could turn to Joe Flacco. I'm not being funny. He could turn to Joe Flacco like he did against Pittsburgh the other night. What if that does happen? I wouldn't be surprised because he's a veteran. Yeah, exactly. These things happen. Absolutely. I mean, he wasn't trash before he hurt that shoulder. 6-3. He wasn't trash. We'll see. We will see. Hey, Twan, I believe in him, but I don't believe in his coaching. I believe in Penix wholeheartedly. But I don't believe in Zach Robinson. I don't believe in Raheem Morris. I don't. They haven't showed me anything. How you start 6-3 last year and then fall off the face of the earth? How do you run the ball against Minnesota and totally dominate them and fall off a cliff the very next week, not score nail point? I can't trust no wishy-washy coach. I can't. And y'all tell me if y'all can, because I can't. If y'all can trust a wishy-washy coach, y'all better than me. Y'all better than me. Y'all better than me. If y'all trust Raheem Morris and he wishy-washy, y'all better than me. But thank y'all for tuning in, man. I just had to come through and talk about it, man. Y'all know where to catch me right here on Smitty Sports Machine. Find me on Twitter at FatBoySlam _21. Y'all see it on the screen right there. That's my Twitter handle next to my name. And y'all can go over to Twitter and find me. And look, I pray Michael Penix okay. I pray he pulls through. I pray he plays Sunday, gets it back together, finds a way to pull himself together and get some confidence. Because New England and then Indianapolis are going to be two very tough games. Drake May is playing like a veteran quarterback in his second year. Jonathan Taylor is running wild in Indianapolis. So I to pray he gets back to himself, and we can turn this thing around, because the season every week the season is getting shorter, so that means making the playoffs is going to be a little bit tougher. But had to come through and talk to y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. And like I said, I keep y'all updated on the Michael Penix news. So please stay tuned. Quarterback situation, please stay tuned. And I'm gonna holler at y'all soon, man. Peace.